So I'm here today at Cornerstone Day Centre with Amanda Croome, the Head of Homelessness Services at Caritas Salford. She's taking some time out today to answer some questions for us about homelessness. Some of our Caritas ambassadors in schools have said that they don't know what to do when they encounter someone who is street homeless. They want to help, but they're unsure the best way of how, and they can feel powerless. What advice could you give to young people in our schools and adults about the actions they can take?
The most important thing that you can do is acknowledge that the person exists. So to say hello to someone and not to ignore them is important. We don't encourage people to give money, and we don't really encourage people necessarily to give food to people, because there are agencies that they can go to where they can get food and they can get support. But just not to ignore people and just to say hello. We specifically wouldn't encourage you to go off anywhere with someone who's homeless, because obviously your safety is the most important thing. But to say hello to someone rather than just ignore them is really important.
And how useful are donations of items such as clothing, food and toiletries to Caritas?
So we completely depend on donations, and the donations of food that are given are all then redistributed to people free of charge. The clothing is so important, and it's very important that they're practical clothes, so warm coats and socks and hats and jumpers and jogging bottoms, really practical things that people will need on the streets. And again, all those are distributed free of charge. And remember about toiletries, because people need to wash, so to be able to clean your teeth and have a shower, it makes it just much easier for people to face the day once they've had a shower with us.
And if people are able to donate some money, what is useful about that? What difference does that make?
So money is the most important thing. It does cost us a lot to run our services, and the money that we get enables us to make sure that everyone who walks through the door gets the service that they need. So if you are able to make a financial contribution, or if you're able to raise some money through sleep out events, then that's absolutely fantastic, and you'll be making such a big difference.
So what is the impact of holding a big sleep out event?
So the big sleep outs are great events, and we have such good feedback from them. It's an opportunity for you to feel just some of the uncomfortableness that someone who's homeless feels. You won't experience what it's really like to be homeless, and you won't be unsafe, which is the biggest thing that people who are homeless talk about. But it will put you in other people's shoes, just that little bit. And when you go home and get back into your warm bed, hopefully you'll remember that some people don't have that opportunity. And the money you raise will help us to run our services and make sure that no one has to be homeless on our streets or having to live in temporary accommodation instead of having their own home.
In what ways can pupils in our schools, people in our parishes and all Caritas supporters call for change and call for an end to homelessness?
So if we're going to end homelessness forever, which is very, very feasible to do, we do need changes at national and local government level. And it does mean that there needs to be some change in legislation, for example, around building more houses and changing how the private rented sector is governed. And that's something that our politicians need to do. So if you are able to write a letter to your politicians and make them aware that homelessness needs to be a priority and that we need to end homelessness, then that really helps, and you can get more information on our website about how to do that.
And where should people go for further information if they'd like to support our work at Caritas Salford?
So all the information about how you can support us and how you can help us campaign for change are on our website, and there's all the resources there you need to run a big sleep out event, and to raise money for us and to campaign for change, and also just to read more about the stories of who uses our services.